Please be advised this podcast features AI cloned voices created with human oversight. All content is reviewed by experts for accuracy and relevance. Welcome to IADS Retail Park, where we examine the triumphs, challenges, and transformations shaping the retail world. In today's episode, we're diving into a story that's as much about ambition as it is about lessons learned. You've heard the saying, not all that glitters is gold. Well, in retail, not all acquisitions are magic wands.
That's right. Today, we're exploring two fascinating cases of innovation acquisitions that didn't quite go as planned: Macy's acquisition of Story and Nordstrom's acquisition of Jeffrey. These were bold moves meant to inject fresh energy into two of America's most iconic department store brands. But instead of sparking reinvention, these efforts fizzled out, leaving us with some important lessons about what it takes to innovate successfully in retail.
So grab your coffee or your shopping bag and join us as we unpack what went wrong, what could have gone right, and how traditional retailers can navigate the tricky terrain of innovation through acquisitions.
Let's kick off with the acquisitions themselves because, on paper, they seemed like perfect matches.
So Macy's bought Story in 2018, a concept store that was all about creating unique narratives around products and experiences. And Nordstrom acquired Jeffrey back in 2005, a boutique known for its impeccable fashion curation.
Story was a single store operation in New York that gained a lot of media attention for its constantly changing themes, like a magazine brought to life in retail form. Macy's not only acquired Story, but also brought on its founder, Rachel Sheckman, as their brand experience officer. It was a bold move that signaled Macy's commitment to reinvention.
And then there was Jeffrey, a boutique founded by Jeffrey Kalinsky, who had built a reputation for curating cutting edge fashion and luxury brands. For Nordstrom, this acquisition felt like a natural fit as they looked to elevate their fashion credentials, particularly with their planned expansion into New York City.
Both acquisitions had so much potential. Story was positioned to bring experiential retail into Macy's, a much needed injection of creativity for a brand often criticized for being too standardized. Jeffrey, on the other hand, was seen as a way for Nordstrom to strengthen its appeal among high end fashion consumers while modernizing its image.
But here's where things started to unravel. Both initiatives were abandoned by 2020, just a few years after they began. And while the pandemic certainly didn't help, it wasn't the only factor at play. What went wrong?
There were several challenges. First, there was a fundamental mismatch between these small, agile concepts and the large corporate environments they were absorbed into. Story thrived because it was nimble and personality driven. It could pivot quickly based on trends or themes. But when Macy scaled it from one store to 36 shops across the locations, much of that magic was lost. Jeffrey faced similar issues at Nordstrom. While Jeffrey Kolinsky brought his expertise to the company, his influence remained diffuse within Nordstrom's larger structure. The boutique itself operated separately from Nordstrom stores, making it harder to create meaningful synergy between the two.
It sounds like scaling these concepts diluted what made them special in the first place, like trying to mass produce something that was meant to be bespoke.
Yes, absolutely. And then there was the issue of expectations versus reality. As retail expert Doug Stevens pointed out about Macy's acquisition of Story, they treated it more like a shiny new addition, a bauble, as he put it, rather than using it as a catalyst to reinvent their entire business model.
So, what are the big takeaways here? What can other retailers learn from these experiences?
The first lesson is that acquiring an innovative concept isn't enough. You need a clear strategy for how it fits into your broader goals. For example, look at Walmart's acquisition of Jet.com or John Lewis acquiring Buy.com in the UK. Both were approached as tools for specific purposes rather than magical solutions. Second, integration is key. If you're bringing in a small concept or startup, you need to think carefully about how it will scale without losing its identity, or whether scaling is even the right move. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, true innovation often requires internal transformation rather than external acquisitions. Formats like Bloomie's or Nordstrom Local show that department stores can innovate successfully when they develop new ideas in house.
So, does this mean department stores should stop acquiring innovative concepts altogether? Or is there still value in these kinds of deals?
There's definitely still value, but only if those acquisitions serve a well defined purpose within a larger strategy. For example, if you're acquiring expertise or technology that you don't already have in house, that can be incredibly valuable, as long as you have a plan for how to integrate it effectively. At the same time, retailers shouldn't overlook the power of internal innovation. Developing something from within gives you more control over how it aligns with your brand and business model.
To wrap up today's discussion, what we've seen with Macy's and Nordstrom highlights just how complex innovation can be for traditional retailers. It's not enough to acquire something shiny and new. You need a clear vision for how it fits into your business and how it will drive meaningful change.
Absolutely. Innovation isn't just about adding something new, it's about rethinking how you operate at every level, whether through acquisitions or internal development. Success comes down to having a strategy that balances creativity with practicality.
Thank you for joining us today on IADS Retail Park. The stories of Macy's and Nordstrom remind us that innovation is never easy but always necessary, and that sometimes failure offers the best lessons of all.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us continue bringing actionable insights from the world of retail innovation.
For more exclusive content, check out our Substack at IADS. Exclusive Insights. Dive deeper into the stories and strategies transforming the retail landscape today. And don't forget to follow IADS on LinkedIn for updates, insights, and success stories from the world's leading department stores. Join us next time as we explore more groundbreaking stories shaping global retail, from sustainability initiatives to digital transformation strategies. Until then, remember, innovation isn't just about survival, it's about thriving.